Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For the sake of this video, we'll be discussing the 1983 comedy Mr. Mom, starring Michael Keaton, Terry Gore. It also has a very short role of Christopher Lloyd, from Taxi. It also has Richard Mole in it. And I forgot who the other actor is in it. It's very recognizable. Now, of course, this movie came at a time in the early. Right here. This came at a time in the early '80s when you had a lot of gender bending roles, where the woman takes charge and the man, the man does the work that normally the woman does, and the woman does the work that usually a man does. And at a time in the early '80s, and at the time in the early '80s, there was a lot of these gender bending roles, especially gender bending movies, I should say. And he previously discussed just about all these movies. There was Victor Victoria with Julie Andrews, Tootsie, and then Yentl. All three movies came out approximately around the same time, and with the usually either a woman dressing up as a man, as a Victor Victoria or Yentl, or a man dressing up as a woman, like a Tootsie. There's a gender bending stuff going on. While Mr. Mom is a gender bending thing without the cross dressing in it. Like I said, the movie stars with Michael Keaton in a comedy. Remember those days, folks, when Michael Keaton used to star only in comedies? He stars as a worker in an auto plant in Detroit, Michigan, and he gets laid off from his job. Not only him, but three of his other co-workers, or friends of his, who used to carpool to work every day. They all get laid off, and so Michael Keaton doesn't know what the hell to do. And his wife says, "Look, remember, you used to work before we got married." He says, "Right, I can go back into the workforce and see if I can get a job and be a breadwinner where you're laid off." Because Michael Keaton did try to get another job, another car companies in town, could never get another job, and all of a sudden, his wife gets the job, and he's unemployed. So he had to do all the housework, he had to do all the grocery shopping, he had to do the laundry, the cleaning, the cooking in the house, all the stuff that Terry Gore used to do. Well, I should mention that Terry Gore plays Michael Keaton's wife, and she was hot. And at that time, Terry Gore was smoking hot at that point in time. She just came off of a Oscar-nominated performance in the movie Tootsie, which came out just a year before this movie came out. And she was cute, and she was hot, and I don't know how old she was when she did this movie. I think she must have been in her 30s at that time. She's been around a long time. She was in that famous episode of Star Trek, Assignment Earth, which was technically supposed to have been a Star Trek ripoff. She must have been like either a teenager or her early 20s when she did that episode. And she did Tootsie. Like I said, she got nominated for an Oscar for that role, but she lost to her co-star Jessica Lange in Tootsie. And now she got cast in Mr. Mom. And she goes out, works in an advertising firm for this tuna called Schooner Tuna. It's a fictional tuna company, and she's trying to come up with an ad slogan for this company, and Terry Gore says, "Oh, this thing stinks." Or when you all these ideas, they all stink. And so here's what they should do. They should do this. Lower the price for 50 cents. Because of the lousy economy we have going on. Excuse me, on my phone. Because of the lousy economic, I don't think Reaganomics kicked in yet at that time. So they had to, come up with some things, because they brought this out that the Schooner Tuna is the most expensive tuna out there. So that's why nobody's buying it, because the tuna is expensive. Unlike the other companies, it's a hell of a lot cheaper than your brand. So what you do is you lower the price to compete with the other companies, and then after a while, when the sales finally go up, then you increase the price. Or go back to the old prices. So the head of the tuna company thinks about it and says, okay, I do that. While this is going on, Richard Mall, who is Terry Gore's boss, starts to hit on her. And she says, you realize I'm married, right? He said, I don't care. Leave your husband and come live with me and we get married. Which, of course, by the end of the film, and this movie's not very long, but just over 90 minutes. So it feels longer than it is. But it was that good. And she, of course, eventually quits. Well, all that stuff was going on. You had Michael Keaton, like I said earlier, Michael Keaton taking care of the housework. And it was funny because, like, the first day when Terry Gore was working, her first day working, he goes and drops the kid off, and they have this crazy system at the oldest son's school, where you have to come in from the north and drop off at the south and something, and they reverse the lane so to make it easier for the kids to get in and out of the cars and stuff. And so Michael Keaton doesn't realize that. The kid says, "Oh, Dad, you're doing it wrong." And people are cursing him out, saying, "Hey, you're going the wrong way, you idiot! You a-hole! You're doing it the wrong way," and all that stuff. And then he goes grocery shopping, and every time he goes in somewhere, there's a mess. And he goes in and grabs some couple of grapefruits, goes in to grab a grapefruit, and the whole display falls over. And he said, "Irv, clean up and produce." Produce, check. And you hear the guy in the PA system goes, "Okay, check. Produce, check." And he says, then he goes into another aisle, drops something else, and makes another mess. And he goes, "Clean up in aisle 4. Aisle 4, check." And it's like a running gag for the whole thing. And then Michael Keaton goes and checks out, and he has a stupid tampons for his wife. And he said, and so the woman in the cashier, who was played by Edie McClure, ironically, who I found out he just passed away, says, "Hey, Irv, all these tampons on sale?" And he says, "Forget it, Irv." And Michael Keaton's embarrassed because he's buying the tampons instead of Terry Gore was. And which is funny. And then he says, "Irv, clean up in aisle 7. And Michael Keaton says, "Irv, it was never in aisle 7. It wasn't me, Irv." Because it was a running joke in that particular scene. Now, of course, he goes home. And he has to. One of the kids was like making chili, and the little door, the youngest door, was eating it. And of course, they had a funny line from the TV repair woman. "So you gave your baby chili? What's the matter with you?" And of course, it was all hectic through the whole thing because he had the TV operator, you had an exterminator, and you had another guy checking the gas line, all coming to the house all at the same time. And meanwhile, Michael Keaton's trying to clean up the house, and he did the laundry, and he overloaded the washing machine, and the washing machine was going nuts. And he didn't flood the house, but the thing was going nuts, and you had the water lines going all over the place, and then you had, of course, the infamous vacuum cleaner, and one of the kids says, "Oh, you mean Jaws? Man, your mother names the vacuum cleaner Jaws?" Yeah, because if you're not moving it yourself, the vacuum cleaner literally moves around the whole house. And you hear the theme music of Jaws, which was hysterical. So after all that hectic stuff, and eventually Michael Keaton's character, Jack, gets addicted to the soap opera Young and the Restless. So he gets addicted to that, and there was a dream sequence where he's dreaming that Terry Gore kills him, because she thinks that he was having an affair with one of the girlfriends. One of Terry Gore's girlfriends in the film, which was, I think, played by Anne Gillian, in a red wig. Anne Gillian is a blonde, and so it was pretty funny to see, to see that particular scene, especially the end of it, which I'm not going to give away because it's very, very funny. And then Michael Keaton decides to clean up his act, and he hears the Rocky theme. As he cleaned himself up, he lost weight, he shaved his beard. He was growing a beard at that point. And now the house is now organized, everything is okay, he gets everything all, get up and go type stuff. And then all that stuff happened. That's when Terry Gordon decides to quit her job because her boss keeps hitting on her. And she said, I had enough of this crap. While Terry Gordon's telling Michael Keaton this, Jack's old boss comes in and finally offers him a job because he realizes that Jack's boss is now screwed because of the fact that since he laid off Jack and his 3 co-workers, production in his department has gone down because those 3 guys are no longer there doing the jobs, and so he offered them the jobs back. And he says, screw, pretty much telling them, screw you because, the way you treated us. I said, you deserve it because the way you treated us. I'm not going to cover your ass. Because he wanted to turn them out saying that because of their screw up, production was down, that's why he laid them off. They didn't want to say, because we laid these 3 workers off, production is down. Jack's boss doesn't want to admit that. He wants Jack to admit that because of our screw up, the production is down. Jack refused to say that stuff. So he says, okay, I'm going to admit that I ain't the one who screwed up and stuff. And at that point, one of his kids wanted to ask Jackson, Daddy, any help? And the kid says, and of course Jack's boss says, hey, kid, shut up. And Michael Keaton says, okay, I warned you before, if you talk to my kid like that again, I'm going to kick your ass. And he punches him out, knocks him down, and then of course eventually Jack took his, the only way I'm going to take my job back is if you hire the other 2 guys you're fired, my 2 friends that you fired before, you hire all 3 of us back, you increase our salaries, give us more fringe benefits and stuff, then we come back. And he says, okay, you come back. And of course, at the end of the movie, you see the commercial that Terry Gordon was having the owner of the tuna company make. The paper Graham Jarvis, of course, later on was in the show Seventh Heaven. And of course, he died of Alzheimer's. Years later. But in this movie, because you know how the movie's going to end with Jack getting his job back. And you know how, we all knew how the movie was going to end, but you just want to know how he will do for the whole movie. That's why I'm glad the movie is as long as it is, because I'm sure if it's like another 20 minutes longer, the movie is not going to do as well. Of course, I should mention that a couple of the funniest scenes in the movie is the one scene where Jack and Michael Keaton is sitting at the table with Terry Gordon's friends playing poker with coupons, which was a pretty funny sequence. And when Gilligan was on Halloween, and that's when Terry Gordon flies off to L.A. to do this commercial for the Schooner Tuna. And it was on Halloween, and then Gilligan character is wearing an E.T. mask. This is how old this movie is when there was an E.T. reference in this movie. And it's, like I said, it's a good movie. It's a good entertaining film, and it is a movie of its time. I should mention that. And of course, it has a lot of references of movies around the time of Mr. Mom. So if you watch it for the first time, if you watch earlier Michael Keaton films, and you see this one, and you say, "Oh, this movie sucks." This movie does not. To me, it's not suck because I could relate to it. Because it's a movie I was about 12 years old when the movie came out. So that's why I could relate to this movie. And it's a movie of the 80s. And I grew up in the 80s. So this movie is not, it's not bad. Especially if you like to see back in the day when Michael Keaton used to do comedies. And he did, especially when he got to the point of Batman, and 6 years later when he was starring in Batman, the biggest movie of that year, people would say, couldn't believe that Michael Keaton, who did Mr. Mom and coming off of Beetlejuice comedies, doing this film. And they couldn't believe it. And because Michael Keaton was good at doing comedies. I mean, he really was. And now all of a sudden he became another Tom Hanks. What I mean is that both he and Tom Hanks both came up around the same time doing movies. And both of them used to do a bunch of comedies early in their career. And then at a certain point they did drama after drama after drama after drama. And you wish they'd go back to do comedies. I mean, I feel that way with Tom Hanks, and I feel that Michael Keaton should go back doing comedy. But I guess if you reach a certain age, you want to do dramas instead of being stuck doing comedies, I guess. And for both Tom Hanks and Michael Keaton. But I wish they would go back doing comedies, because Mr. Mom is, to me, it's a comedy classic of the 80s. It really is. So now let me review of Mr. Mom. Please click on the video, please rate it. Feel free to I was going to say feel free to comment, you can't comment on my videos anymore. Thanks to that stupid drunk neighbor of mine. Please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video to your Facebook pages. You can check out all my reviews on my YouTube channel, RallyC.com, there's no WDY, that's C.com, that's the homepage of Rally Reviewer, Christy Moore, and please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching, catch you next time.